This is Namaste, Kamlesh Kapur again. Um, we are continuing with Vedic Dharma, um, and this is part two, and we are going to talk about symbolism. Now, this is going to be an interesting thing because there is so much um, wrong notions going on among the Hindus mostly and everybody else because everybody is seeing the wrong lens. So I'm going to clarify quite a few things, and I would appreciate if you really ask the questions, if you differ with me on certain key ideas and concepts. So, understanding the sacred symbols, so we need to know why do we need sacred symbols and what is the significance of it. I mean, connectivity or vibration or something. So, explaining symbolism, explaining essential unity, that which we see as many is can be seen as one in symbolism, and that which we see as one has many different energies and the phenomena behind it. So, the macrocosm and microcosm, we are the same, the tiny iota, right, not even a grain of sand in the entire universe, which is macrocosm. And firmament, some people call it firmament. So one of the sacred symbols going right away. Now this is another thing. Here, some about 300 years back, people started saying that Om is a name of God. So we call it O God. So every time the mantra starts from the from any of the Vedas, uh, they call it O God. Whereas it says Om, Om Bhud Bhuvasva, and Om. Every chant has Om to begin with. So what is Om? Om is a symbol. It is one of the 65 alphabet in Sanskrit language. So this is very interesting. The fact that the more letters we have in the alphabet, the more sounds our throat is able to express. So certain sounds like T and T, the English people are, because English has only 26 alphabets, whereas Hindi has 46 and Sanskrit has 65. So this symbol is in Hindi also. So this is akar. You see, there are two parts of alphabet, akar and vyanjan. So this is an akar, vowel sound. So it here it says uh, in the chant itself, Omkaram bindu samyuktam. So if you add bindu on the top, and Om is a akar, and bindu is added. Nityam dhyayanti yoginaha. So yogis every day concentrate on that bindu. So actually, that bindu is on our where the main optical nerve is. This I see is this I see, and unity point. That is where bindu is. So Omkara bindu samyuktam nityam dhyayanti yoginaha kamadam mokshadam chev Omkare namah. So it is an inspiration for motivation for work, and it is one of the ways of reaching liberation to Ev and also Omkar Namah. So this part is clear. Om is Omkar, Akar, and it is the symbol of that Om is our Bindu, whichever way you put it in the on your forehead. How do the men do it? The married men do it. There's a different ways. And then this is considered the cosmic sound of creation. So when I try to understand the science of it and the sound, um, it seems that what they meant was primordial, that when there is a breathable air on the planet, there is a hissing sound infusing into the vacuum, like you are blowing the balloon, and suddenly, there's a hissing kind of sound. That hissing sound is coming. The right way of saying Om is the sound originates from the navel button. So, from the navel. And it is a hissing sound. This is how people do when they are meditating on Om. So it is a hissing sound, and this is the primordial cosmic sound of creation, which means that breathable air is there. And it is also a way of pranayama. Nothing else is known. You just do pranayama. So ma is halan. Here O is dragged, and the beginning is 1 meter. So this is the only sound akar in the entire language system, unless you point it to me otherwise, which has 2.5 meters length. The sound is not it is one note. It is 2.5. Okay. Ma is half, is 1, and 1.5 is the drag. Okay. So when you do pranayam and you hold the breath in, drag, and that is where it becomes pranayam, and also meditation. Okay. Now the other is the swastika. This is so controversial, and swastika is a symbol of swasth, health, auspiciousness, mangalam, that kind of thing. So this is swastika. Now, if you join these end parts, it becomes a circle. So this is the circle of life. In an evolutionary way, this is the circle of life. These are pauses. One type of life ends, and after a pause, another starts. And the cycle of creation continues for the same Atma. So this is how it looks. Okay. Now, I'll show you. This is the picture of a seed, an old seed, and that they have now made here the circle that I was talking about, and this is swastika. So symbol of auspiciousness, eternal cosmic law, Rita. Eternal cosmic means that it continues on and on and on. Indeed, the swastika, this is a quotation, is an obvious symbol of cosmic cyclicity and endlessness of eternity. Cyclicity is luck force in that every decline brings the perspective of future revival. See, every end meets another revival. And that eternity lurks behind every fleeting phenomenon. So, in other words, when we come to Nataraj, that is the same principle of cyclicity and endless force continuing the phenomenon. Now, this is where it became a Nazi symbol. And suddenly swastika is condemned, and somebody, swastika worshippers, and it has become a whole lot of controversial thing, not only controversial, something to do or die for. I mean, if you have swastika in front of you, you die for it. They can kill you for that. First. So now look at this. Actually, this is a hand-drawn picture. My granddaughter made it for me, looking at what Hitler had, and Hitler had the symbol on the arm, and this is actually it is like a hook. It is like a hook here. It is a, it is a yoke at both sides. This is a yoke, and that means inverted kind of cross. So it is something very different altogether, what we mean. And even the shape is different. So if anybody can really clear this kind of mythical notion that swastika is a Nazi symbol, it is not. Nazi was a hooked cross cutting each other. Okay, that taken care. Now here is Brahman Deva. This is another very lot of false connotations to it. Where in the chants it is used the word devas, Om Agni Deva, Om, Indra Deva, and everything. So to different forces of nature, the word devas. Mother is a deva, father is a deva. Deva literally means one who gives. You see, vegetation is deva, herbal medicines are deva. Everything that gives us something, that is deva. So we say Matra Deva, Pitra Deva, Guru Deva. So somebody who gives us something. That is one particular person who is giving us something, like sun and the moon. It controls the regulation of the water inside the body and outside on the planet as well. Now, Brahma is unity. Brahma is all these forces plus this universal form, which was revealed to Arjuna on the battlefield. If you see, this is originally the artwork by Hare Krishna people. And look at the depth of this. And here you see some of them. And then this is the water coming out, creation coming out, or annihilation, and all these symbols, different Vishnu, Mahesh, Prajapati, everybody. And this is now infinite. It does not have an end. It is not a circle. It is like if you expand it, it will continue in this direction, in this direction. So, in other words, there are infinite devas. However, now this is another myth. Deva, they say 330 million devas. As if somebody counted that it's not 330, it is 329 or something. Who can count it? Infinite energies of the Brahma, of the divine creator, if anybody can count, they can create the universe also. So Brahma is the divine creator and it has many energies which we cannot. Now those who say 33, Hindus worship 330 million gods. The whole sentence is nonsensical and it should never be repeated. If any of the persons who I have taught, and I taught many adults and college level students, and if any of them uses the word for Deva, Devata, Devi, the word God and goddesses, I give him minus 0 point. Reason why? Because he has not understood the very basic concept. So where does 330 million come? That somebody asked how many devatas are there. And Yajnavalkya said that 33. 33 koti. Now, koti has two meanings. It has crore as well as koti means category. So 33 categories he has explained, like 10 Rudras and 12 Adityas, that makes 22, and uh, 8 Vasus, that makes 30, and then 3 um, Indra Prajapati, and one more. Okay. So if Brahma is the totality, then Deva is a part. Part cannot be equal to the whole. So this is a fundamental thing. And when the chant says Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate, that means that complete gives birth to this complete, and after giving birth to this complete, that complete is still the same. So in other words, Brahma is infinite. You can give any kind of name to it or no name to it, doesn't matter. It is still something infinite beyond comprehension and reference point. So therefore, we cannot use the word God for Brahma, and we cannot use God for Devas as well. Where does the God can be used is Bhagwan. Bhagwan is Bhagwan Ram, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Bhagwan Buddha. Now, Bhagwan literally is the earth, Bhumi, Ga, Gagan, Akash, the 5 material energies, which I did in the last lesson also. So those 5 energies that are within us and outside us also, collective consciousness and that. So once it comes to the model form, that divine energy, and that divine energy is in me also, in you also. So it is Aham Brahmasmi. That means the Brahma is within me. And that means that Bhagwan is a finite thing. It is made of the same 5 elements as you and I. It may have a better consciousness, a larger consciousness, or intuition, or capabilities. You see, people vary in competence and capabilities. So now that is Bhagwan. Bhagwan means that which is born to die. So Shri Ram came, went away, part of history. And Shri Krishna came, was bound by time, place, and everything, and went away, and that is Bhagwan. So, man, Narpu, Narayan, in Brahma, we are all united. So that is Bhagwan. So in one of the camps, I said that Bhagwan does not mean God, Ishwar. Um, and I was literally banned from that camp. That Kamlesh, you said Ramchandra is not Bhagwan. I never said Ramchandra is not Bhagwan. I said he is Bhagwan, but he is not Brahma. If he were Brahma, he would not be like a common person looking for Sita. So let's be using some common sense also. Now, this is the greatest symbol which the whole world is now the world of scientists, not the world of losers. Uh, so this is the Nataraj. See, it is also called Ardhanarishwar. It combines both energy, this part, and consciousness. And this flaming halo of the hair, this is telling that everything that comes to life also collapses, goes away. So this is the creation, symbol of creation. And this is the first instrument that the Sanatana Dharma recognizes to be known. And then this hand is giving benediction, and this hand has the end flame fire, and this is how I am. And this is ideally my foot should be above the desires and the mud of the sansar, jagat. So be detached. So be above the conflicts and the attractions of the world. And this is grounding, and underneath this is the um, symbol of negative forces, right? And this is the end of the life on earth. When the kalpa is over, then this is the final cycle of yugas that end. So this is the most important principle of creation and principle of the cosmic reality, the principle behind the cosmic reality. What is cosmic reality is that everything is in a twirl. You see, it's like action, it's causation, and causation leads to up and down spiral kind of thing, twirl, and that twirl keeps on moving, and eventually, at some point, it ends, and life emerges somewhere else. Probably it already has. I mean, this is a matter of. And there is a very interesting point about this. This is the thing with Nataraj in golden, uh, pretty large size. That is outside a scientific lab in Lucerne, Switzerland. And this is that Nataraj's thing. So once a new director was appointed in that lab, and he went inside and he asked them, "What are you doing?" He asked several people, "What are you experimenting on, and what is this lab for? What are you doing?" And one of them said that we are looking for God particle. We are looking for God particle, and he used the the word damn, God particle, whereas God particle is outside. He was referring to Natras. This is the entire creation and the God particle, both consciousness as well as energy source. So this part is female. You see the kind of arm here, and see the male. And this is another form in Elephanta caves, and this is Trimurti. Again, the same thing. Vishnu, the nourisher, the energy giver, and this is Prajapati. Things are created and things die down. So this is Trimurti, uh, Vishnu, Prajapati, Mahesh. And Prajapati is the word, by the way. The word used, Brahma created the word. Actually, that is a later kind of notion. And the original chants in Vedas, they use the word Prajapati. Now, how do you explain the symbol? I mean, how do you explain a phenomena which can be felt and not seen? Now, sun is there, but how do you describe it that it has seven rays and it goes in a seven horses, a symbol of seven rays of whiteness, and this is a chariot, of sun, because sun is moving, not sun, we are moving, but it appears that the sun is moving. So, as a matter of fact, the whole solar system is moving. So this is an artistic way of saying. Now, if anybody says that we believe in Murti Puja, you tell me how else I am going to visualize the sun, that it has 7 rays. Only by drawing a picture to the best of my capacity. So this picture is sun, and the chariot is time, and white rays splitting sun. This is a symbolism. Now, what is the difference between symbolism and murti? We can make a murti and put it here, and we do show reverence and respect because it is devata. So, however, once you put it in the temple and you infuse the that this has total awareness and consciousness, that is called pran pratishtha. Suddenly the murti becomes not a picture or a sculpture, it becomes a vigraha, which means it is a focus factor, it is a point where you can connect with the divinity and you see the divine in that and meditate on it. So there are 3 ways of meditation, 2 ways. One is you are focusing on that and you are visualizing that. That is upasana. You are offering reverence with that. The other is that you close your eyes and have that image within the heart, and then you connect with that within the heart while chanting Om or not chanting. And that is called vipassana. That is where the difference between Murti Puja is. The Murti is still there. When I am thinking of my father, the image of my father, the picture of my father is not just on my nightstand, it is within me as well. So it is the same thing. You are looking at the picture and offering prayers, it is upasana. And when you are visualizing that in the heart or in the Trikuti, that is where it becomes vipassana. Now this is that was Surya picture. This is the first actually white sun, the sculpture of sun, was made by Ushans. You see, the previous picture is visualizing first, emotionally experience then, and then the scientific explanation of the white color split. That is all visualization symbol. Here is the actual sculpture of the sun. And this was made by Ushans. And look at this. This has the sun devata is wearing shoes. They came from very cold climate, Mongol, and this is they are wearing. It is in Kabul Museum. At least when I wrote the book, that is where it was. What happened after that, we don't know. Now, Ganesh. Ganesh is the beginning part of the prayer or any kind of sankalp or yajna or any kind of, ceremony, sanskar. The first thing is Shri Ganesh. Let us do Shri Ganesh, which means auspicious beginning. And Ganesh literally means the best, the most perfect among the people. Ganesh. And Ganesh is one of the original devas, which was mentioned in Vedas also. But its name was not Ganesh there. The name was used Ganapati. So there are a lot of chants uh, dedicated, invoking on Ganapati. Now, the story behind, people go for legends also. There is a legend. Now, let us first see the symbolism, the symbol. So, big head is think big, large ears listen more, small eyes concentrate. This is the rope to pull you nearer to the highest good. Want us retain good and throw away the bad. Trunk, high efficiency and adaptability. This is laddu. This is reward of sadhana. This is modak. And large stomach is peacefully digest with equanimity. And the whole world is at your feet just for asking. And this is to cut off all bonds of attachment. Small mouth is topless, and one hand is blessing. So one hand is cutting the attachment, other hand is pulling the goals towards yourself. The one hand is blessing and holding a one hand is holding a leg. And the best part is mouse, you know. So in one of the classroom, some Buddha was explaining. He said the Hindus worship uh, mouse. And then they said if there is a plague, what will they do? Silly thing, silly understanding, and totally clueless thing. So mouse is the desire. It is mouse is something which doesn't remain still. It is not sitting on it, it's moving, constantly moving. Unless under control, it can cause harm. So this is symbolizing. And that is why it is the right. Right means Ganesh is on top of a perfect person is on top of the desires, not a victim of the desires. So mouse is not sitting above. Mouse is the sabari, the vehicle on which Ganesh is riding. Now, there is the legend says that once Parvati was inside, somebody else was there, and Shiva was gone for Shivji was gone for bath. When he came back, in the meantime, Parvati said that she created with her energy source a robot, and she gave this programming to that robot, saying that you will only say you can't enter the room. So when Shivji came, this robot kept chanting, saying the same thing over and over. You cannot go in. You cannot go in. So Shivji just cut his head. And then Parvati came out crying that this is the first time I created something. It is my child. It was my imagination. And Shivji said that what you created was a robot. It was programmed only to say it does not have consciousness. And he picked up an elephant head and put it on that. This symbol was created much, much later because Vedas were written before the mention of Parvati and before the mention of Kartikeya or Ganesh in this form. Okay. So you see the legend where it comes from, what he was proving, and this is valid today, that when the artificial intelligence, we are creating something robots, and they look perfect, and they say things perfectly, but then what is missing in that robot? I personally am against, because human beings are, they do not have just sensory perceptions, and they are absorbed in the mind. they are modified by our cognition, and whole lot of absorption comes in a way, total way. And then buddhi interacts with that cognition, total experience. And robot cannot have all those emotional capabilities. So mind is not a constant thing that you can program. Language you can program, motions you can program. Reaction to emotions and sensory perceptions you cannot program because they are constantly changing. So that is my number one fear, that a robot will only keep saying one thing, that you are programmed. It cannot be equal to our consciousness plus intelligence. Okay. This is maybe another symbol of Shakti. This is not a symbol of Shakti. How do you portray Shakti? Obviously, you gave it in different hands, different weapons, and then the blessing also. Mm, it is everything, Shakti. So, again, is this legend or is it real? Durga is real. We have created a lot of Puranic stories, but in reality, this is the symbol for Shakti, and we have put it in the temples after Pran Pratishtha. And here is another Devi Saraswati, and you see it has chants, chanting, it has music, it has scrolls in one of the hands, Vedas, Gyan, and vision. So this is again, it's a symbol. Fine arts and knowledge and wisdom, how do you portray? How do you visualize? Some artist visualized it, we accept it. We put it in the temple and we offer invocation and reverence. So what's wrong with that? Okay. Now this is the Kaliya Mardhan, where Krishna is riding on the hydra-headed snake, and he comes out riding on their head. This is that it happened really, couldn't have happened. But water snakes are very dangerous snakes. And hydra headed, nobody has so far seen. That species probably it was there and extinct. But it does create a symbol in our mind, and that whenever there is poisonous vibrations around us, tamsik buddhi around us, maya and agyan, illusion, then the perfect person or your own good sense, vivek, will ride out. So this is Kaliya Mardhan. And now, symbolism and focus factor. Upasana, meditation, vipassana. I explain. Picture of Ganesh and Devi Saraswati. Why do we offer reverence? We have reserved, actually, we do it every day for Ganesh, but we have also reserved one day, especially when the children go to school, and it is Uttarayan, and that is when we do the Vasant Panchami. And Vasant Panchami is also the day the schools used to start. The change of seasons, winter is over. And we used to do Saraswati Jai. What are we focusing on? We are focusing on the energy and the phenomena. So one part is phenomena, one part is the energy. So goals and definite purpose in life. It gives us goal. Devi Saraswati has given us a goal that when we go to school, we are learning. When we play a musical instrument, we are dedicating 2-3 hours practicing it. We are focusing on that. And Many people, music studios, they have Devi Saraswati in one of the corners. And so Ganesh is inspiring in the morning. When we say Om Ganeshaya Namaha, it means that we want to be perfect and we are offering reverence to perfection. So this is the symbol of perfection and music. So what are we focusing on? Learning, being a better person, and for good beginning. So goals and definite purpose in life comes in these symbols. It is exactly in a modified form if I put the picture of my parents on the side because they have given me the purpose in life. They have defined some goals for me. I mean, and they are still the inspiration. So, and some of his sayings, looking at him, I remember, I otherwise also remember. So, there is a purpose. There's a purpose of having a picture. And don't other man-made religions find the same kind of things? Eventually, they come up with some kind of symbol. So, success and quest for peace. See, in all these Devi Devatas, what are we seeking? With Ganesh, we ask for success, and with Gayatri Mantra, Shanti Part, we are looking for peace. And in between, Gayatri Mantra also has the process of enlightenment. So relevance of prayers. It is not for atonement of sins, but it is for focusing on the progress, evolution of consciousness, which is leading to liberation, ultimate liberation, moksha. Symbols are natural forces, how to portray these. So it is these sculptures and pictures and artwork. This is actually storytelling through art and connecting us to the divine as well. So this is Hindu genius of those artists, let us say, that they have done storytelling through art. Symbol of Hanuman. Hanuman is the symbol of trade winds. There are 120 trade winds, which are the monsoon season, gives us water. And Hanuman is, it is, actual name is Maruti Nandan. Hanuman is one of the 120 Maruts. So they are trade winds. So Shri Ganesh, Parvati, energy source, Shiva, consciousness, Sheshnag, riding on the Sheshnag is when the kalpa is over, what remains? Water remains. When the kalpa ends, life ends. But what is left is water and the divine in the um, supta way. Like if Brahma is sleeping. Actually, eyes are closed, and whatever is left in the on the planet, shesh, and that is water. So the Sheshnag is the symbol of that, what remains, and on that Brahma, and that is at the end of it. These questions are very relevant to current realities, especially because missionaries ask the non-believers to destroy their arts and symbols and cosmic energy. And how do you fight that? You really have to learn the technique. See, in a game of chess, even though the friends are playing, even then there is one person is in the opposition. One is opponent, one is the person, other person. They're opponents. So each tries to, get over the other and get a tactical advantage in conversions or guessing. You have to play like a game of chess. Life is a game of chess. You don't announce your intentions with the loudspeaker. Think big, and then find out the answers. How am I going to answer the conversion is, it is a whole different 15 pages in my uh, Hindu Dharma teaching book, Hindu Dharma teaching guide. In that, there are, at the end, are frequently asked questions. Those frequently asked questions mean people doing, higher studies in comparative religions, and they equate religion with dharma. I have already explained it's not that. So, uh, so those 15, 20 questions explain what you think of Jesus being Savior, what we think who is the Savior, or is there a Savior at all. So those 15, and that list was given to me by one of the person who was doing PhD in Northern Virginia, and he sent me that those, and I think he did me a favor that I was focused on giving concrete answers to what they are seeing through the lens and what we are seeing through the prism. So anybody interested in that can get a electronic copy and read those. So Pali is a literal interpretation. You see the mix of allegories, legends, and visual imagery. It's a mixture of many things. So we are going to go, and they say the literal interpretation, elephants, birds. We worship birds, we worship monkeys. And in one of the classroom, a teacher literally put the kids to a like wishing they were not there. And he said, Hindus worship monkeys. And do you see monkeys flying around? So gross. Separating myth from history. We are not going to use the word idol ever. Icon, gods, goddess, murti, ritual. Murti we use pratima or sculpture. Ritual, mythology, sword. Please do not ever use this. Otherwise, this entire lesson is wasted, leading to nothing. Artistic expression, pran pratishtha, vigrah. That is where we are. Some artist expressed it, what he visualized. We put it in the temple as vigrah, and we worship as a focus. So artists of ancient India centered a message of kindness and harmony to animals. You see, using stories and symbols. And if you see closely, any one of the temples which are still intact in southern India, and you will see outside, nude pictures, you will see one panel of war, one panel of Kama Sutra, one panel of animal life, one panel of sea life, one panel of this, one panel of flowers. You see several strands, and most people say that this is vulgar. There is one a panel of musical instruments also. So it is all carved, either in soapstone or limestone, whatever was available in that area. So why is that important? Why is that considered vulgar? It is not vulgar. It gives you the message that in this world, outside of the temple, or everything exists. Bad things exist, good things exist, music exists, harmony exists, wars exist, everything exists. But once you go inside the Garbhagriha, it is all darkness. So there you invoke in your consciousness the divine. So that is Garbhagriha has only one symbolic kind of a shrine, totally dark. And going around that is crawling, because the space, if this is this high, then from the base you are crawling and your head touches the ceiling. So you literally crawl through that watery parikrama. So, and I have done that. I really understood what it means. That in order to reach the divine, you have to go through several layers of reality, overcome them, and seek liberation. And passage is not easy. That is what it is. Now, ritual. I'm just giving two examples why you should not use the word ritual. I have uh, endless discussions with people. Uh, all the many of the people, great scholars, they say no, ritual is the word to be used for samskar, and it is not. Sanskrit, the word is rita, and sandhi is never UAL. So rit is there, UAL is never there. The ritual is not. Latin word is right, plus UAL, it becomes ritual. So E and U combine ritual. So ritual is a not a Sanskrit word. And please don't use the word ritual. Ritual is a commandment. It's a procedure commanded to be done in a certain way, otherwise you are a sinner. We do not have that concept. We have concept of free will. Do whatever you feel like doing and leave the consequences or think of the consequences. So another word we use. So what should be the word for ritual? Rit is correct, cosmic reality in a God and cyclicity. But using for certain procedure, like Yajurved, those are vidhi and sanskar and yajna. So mithya, fabrication, imagined false. This is the meaning of mithya. Fabrication, imagined false. So when they say mythology, they say Dharma trades in, Hindu Dharma trades in falsehood. And we accept it. Everybody says, our mythology. There is one great Mahodaya here, Mahanubhav. At least 1,000 times I have corrected him that please don't use the word when you are doing the dances or any other thing. Please don't use the word Ram is mythology. Ram was a historical figure. And energies are not mythology. Energies are not mythology. And what is mithya then? Are we dealing with the exchange of mythology? Am I talking about nonsense? So, then I think of this. Yesterday, when I was putting this, I remembered Shakespeare's words, "O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reasons." So those people, Hindus, using the word mythology for that which actually happened, is happening, and we feel it, and we can visualize it. What happened? They have lost their reasons. So tantric people, they are giving judgment over us, that you are dealing with falsehood. And we say, yes, you see. So this is just an exercise. What is legend, allegory, and actual? I know it is getting very long. I hope you are patient enough to see. These are statements, 6. Shri Krishna was born in Mathura. He was raised in Gokul by his adopted parents, Nanda and Yashoda. Okay. He used to play with boys and girls of Vrindavan and Gokul. He killed many evil persons who attacked the villagers. He used to play the flute and the villagers used to love this. He controlled the Kalia cobra with many heads. He lifted the small mountain to give shelter to the villagers in his storm. Now, let's see, where is legend, where is allegory, and where is actual event? Statement 1 to 4 are historical facts. They actually happen. We have the exact date based on astronomy, the chart. That Krishna was born uh, 31, 13 uh, before Commonwealth. So, and that is the date. And this is a fact, actually that. He used to play actually that. Killed many persons, yes. Flute, yes. Okay. Now, statement 5 has a mixture of allegory. Snakes in Hindu tradition symbolize worries and fears and other bad emotions. Krishna teaches us to control these emotions before they destroy. So it is both allegory and a message. Where are we? Statement 6 is a legend. Probably with the help of several other villages, he did lift a small hill during a torrential rain that destroyed mud and thatched huts. But then it is kind of a legend. And poets use those legends to make a point. We might say it is hyperbolic or not possible, but then it is a legend, and poets have license to do that. So this is, Hindu Dharma teaching guide. This is saffron and swastika. You can understand swastika. Hinduism eternal tradition. This is people living in this country, instead of referring what Kamlesh Kapur says, they would rather have give credence to David Frost. So I tell them to read this. And then Bhagavad Gita, it is produced by Hare Krishna Hare Rama for children. Being different is Rajiv Malhotra has written. This is to differentiate that Hindu is Dharma and it is different. And please do not equate us to anything. I just gave a short list, for people who are curious, and I did not touch the past fairs and festivals, and I think this is wearing the patience of everybody. It's too long. Okay. Now let's see if anybody has any question. Please raise hands. Or there's a lot of information, and I want that since it is already recorded and on YouTube, please spread it. At least we should open our eyes before we tell others, do this or do that. Actually, we never say do this or do that. I mean, it's up to you. I am giving you just about a passageway, guidance. That's what Dharma is. Real cosmic realities. Recognize it and live with it, adapt with it. Other than that, you have free will. So, nobody has any question. Yeah, one person has raised hand. Okay, Gurinder, yes.
Hey, Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, Auntie Ji. Wonderful presentation. Probably my favorite so far, but I know you have more coming. I have three questions. They get more complex, and I want to give time for others to rotate. So I'll start with the most simple one. Is there a difference between Aum versus Om? AUM versus OM? Or is that like a small detail?
You see, yogis say it, oh. But when we are doing the alphabet, we say Om, OM. But the actual sound is because it is invocation. And it is also Dharma. The correct way is when you becomes O, the next letter. In the Sandhi. So,
And you use the word hissing exclusively for hissing, like a hissing for how Om should be the nature. Did I mishear that? I remember you said the Om sound is like a hissing, or the sound of Om
sound,
in the
yeah,
earth
I
when it
understand.
has a
Yeah,
vacuum of space. It's like a hissing
sound
sound.
comes from the Navi.
I see.
You see, those
Yeah.
people who learn music, and the scale starts from the Navi. So Navi
Mhm.
to throat is one saptak, seven foot. And then the middle saptak is from the throat up to the mouth, vocal cords. That is the middle, where most of the singing is done. And then you go up
Mm.
and down as well. The last saptak is nasal sound. So sound travels from here. The original sound is Navi, and it goes
Mm.
up. So now the hissing sound, if you do it in a prayer form or meditation
Mm.
form, it has to come from the Navi because the vibration is totality. Om or
Mm.
any chant, you have to say it in a correct way, in the sense that it
Mm.
should be audible to you. You know, I have seen um, hundred of times I will tell them to sing loudly
Mm.
because first time your mouth is saying,
Mm.
second time you say it loudly, your ears are saying, listening. Third
Mm.
time you say it more loudly, then it absorbed here. You see, cerebral, this part. And once it reaches there, it becomes fourth time loudly, you
Mm.
say. It fills your entire body. The whole brain becomes like orchestra. So it is a
Mm.
total vibration. Om is a
Mm.
vibration besides
Mm.
the akar, vowel sounds.
Right. Mm. Okay, thank you. That leads to my second question, a little bit more abstract, but what is the inner mechanism happening in Raja Yoga, like in contemplation? Like when you know, mentally, like what is happening there? What is the growth from contemplating versus, you know, vowel sounds or asanas? What is happening in Raja Yoga?
Not much be happening or not happening. You see,
Mm.
and there is transcendental meditation,
Mm.
samadhi, where you forget everything and the mind is totally blank. But then there is prior stage, there is a sadhana where you are contemplating. That's the word. So, and above that, before that is dhyan. That is
Mm.
um, uh, what's the word?
Like a concentration
Yeah,
or focus? Yeah.
concentration. Yeah,
Yeah.
dhyan, chintan dhyan.
Mm.
So now I do not do meditation that way.
Mm.
I do meditation with Om only
Mm. Mm. Mm.
because transcendental meditation samadhi is a learned art.
Mm.
And contemplation with the mantra and creating that energy from Mool chakra to
Mm.
the Sahasrara chakra, that is a very specific tantra. Tantra.
I see. I
So
see.
tantra is a whole different science. Don't think it is a
I see.
device, Symbolism or anything.
Mm.
No,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it is so difficult that I saw one book, and there are hundreds
Mm.
of on tantra,
Mm.
and one specific chant. I got so dense, my mind
Mm.
became blank. This is always an age probably to read all these things.
Yes.
So I did not go there,
Mm.
frankly. But you are young people, and if you want to do it,
Yeah.
it's up to you. But I would always recommend start from the basic
Mm.
and then evolve and evolve. And same thing with music. Try
Mm.
with the Nadi. You see. So sound is Dhwani has a lot of connotations. And for
Mm.
sound, there are separate sculptures and visualization and um, pictures.
Mm.
So that also Disha.
Okay. Okay. I'll ping you more about this. This is very interesting. But then my last and maybe most challenging question is, I liked your example of the Shivaji cutting off the head of the robot. And we see this also with Dr. Frankenstein and Pinocchio, the little boy, like this inner human need to create this artificial life, not for biological reproduction. Um, in the 1970s, they explored a lot of the similar things we're talking about now for ethics. So my question to you is, what is it that makes somebody human? Because if someone made a clone of you in the 1970s, human cloning was a big deal. Has the same brain, has the same heart. Is it the consciousness or is it the Atman that is in one body and not the other?
That is a separate thing altogether. That is um, cloning is artificial insemination at the time uh, when it is multiple how to explain it. I mean, it's a genetic kind of thing. The concept of seven children born at a time and artificially cloning one male taken and then infusing to so many eggs, that kind of thing. They say that Mahabharata, those 100 children, they were done through the method of cloning. Otherwise, a woman cannot give 100 sons in a span of 10 minutes or at the same time. So it is cloning. And how Dasharath got 4 sons, that was artificial insemination. You understand? So those are separate kind of things. Those are separate kind of things. Artificial intelligence is a robotic thing. That Ganesh,
Mm.
I wouldn't go near it.
Mm.
Thank God I won't be there when artificial intelligence replaces already gone common
Mm.
sense of human beings. So add on that the artificial buddhi.
Mm. Oh yeah.
I, yeah. Any other question? Nobody?
Those